Hello everybody, welcome to Cory Turner Talks Cars, and today we're going to talk about Turo. Now you may know what Turo is, you may know that app. If you don't, I'll let you know. Basically, where AirBNB is for houses, Turo is for cars. It's an opportunity to rent cars, basically peer-to-peer, or from other people. So people have cool cars, or they just have an extra car they're not using, or they just need to make some extra money with their car. So they put that onto Turo, and then people like us get a chance to rent it. Now, is it easier or faster than, like, say, traveling and getting from a rental agency? That I couldn't tell you, one of the big rental car companies. We haven't tried it yet, but we're going to try this together. We're going to go onto the app together. We're going to pick from a couple of cars. We're going to let you guys comment and say which one we should try out. We're going to rent it through Turo. We're going to see what the service is like. Of course, we'll do a review of the car. We'll check that out, and we'll just kind of check it out together and see how this whole thing goes. We're not going to start with something huge, really expensive, because I know there's a lot of fine print. I'm trying to go through and look what all that is. Everything looks good, but I want to make sure we're not on the hook for something crazy. And we're not going to be mean to the cars. We're just driving them to see what they're like. So, but first, before we kind of dive into all of that, there's some reasons why I think Turo is a great option for us. See, we like cars. Well, we talk about cars every single day. But there is some math that makes loving cars really, really sad, okay? And so let's talk about that math for a second. Here's what I want you to think about. The average life expectancy of a person in the United States is 78 years. Okay, now, most of us start driving when we're 16, right? So let's subtract 16. Okay, so we have basically 62 years of getting to drive a car. That's if we get to drive right up to the end of the line. Let's say, all right, 78. Right up to 78, we're driving the whole time. On average, most people keep their car for 6 years. You're financing longer, the cars are more expensive, we're not getting them paid off as soon, so we end up driving cars longer, and we're going for 6 years. So if we divide 62 years, that's our prime driving years, by the fact that we averaged 6 cars in our lot every year, 6 years per car, that means that in our lifetime, our average lifetime, we're only going to drive about 10 cars. Unless you win the lottery, you're financially wealthy, you're probably going to be at 10 cars or less. And there are 10 cars that came out this year that I would like to own and drive, but that may not be available for us. I have been very fortunate. I've gotten to drive and own a lot of cars, so I'm definitely on a little bit of a higher average, but that's not true for everybody. And there's also a lot of cars that, some of the cars I owned aren't necessarily the ones I absolutely wanted. It was more out of necessity and what I could get at the time. So when we do this math, if we're car people, we would like to drive and experience more than 10 cars in our lifetime. And Turo actually gives us the opportunity to do that, which I think is pretty cool. You want to drive a 1990 Mustang because you saw it when you were growing up, thought it was a cool car, but never got to own one. Well, with Turo, you actually could rent a 1990 Mustang. Maybe you want to know, what is it like to drive around in a smart car? You can do it. They're on there. So let's go on there. Let's take a look real quick, and I'll show you what I mean by all that. Let's take a look at Turo. Okay, here's Turo. Let's let it fire up. Here's the app. I like that logo. It's pretty clean. It opens up this way, and you just type in what city. I'm going to put Dallas, Texas in here. You can rent it from the airport. There's a lot of different things as far as delivery and pickup. That's all stated in there. Okay, so we're going to hit search. All right, so right off the bat, if we look at the top, there's a Tesla Model X, a 2016. A lot of Teslas in here. I see a lot of them. This one's expensive. It's $202 a day. Don't let that frighten you. The prices vary from so low, you're like, how do they even cover maintenance or the drop off of the car, all the way up to, wow, that person's super proud. I've seen some really big prices. So the prices vary, so don't worry about that. For instance, right here, a 2016 Cadillac CTS, a nice Cadillac, $55 a day, right? Maybe you've always wanted to try driving a Dodge Dakota, a 2007, as a matter of fact, only $34 a day, right? So you can already see there is a lot of variety here. Here's an Audi Q5, a 2018. They want $75 a day. Let's just take a look. I'll show you. You get to swing through and look at the pictures. Good looking car right there, right? You can even close in more if you want. So this one is in Dallas. If you rented it for the entire week, you'd save $28. They would take that off there. You get 750 miles included in the rental, and it's an extra $1.15 per day. Insurance is part of it. You have to go online and fill out everything and get approved on there. It's not a real hard process when I say that. But to go on there and do that. And then you go on there and you just pick your car, right? So you can see they give you some information there. There's two things I will say that I've learned in my research. Number one, always return the car on time, okay? So most of the time you're working with individuals, that car might be rented 2 hours after you get it. So you definitely need to return on time because they can charge you up to $50 per hour, I believe, up to 4 hours. So that'd be an extra $200 on top of that. That may change. Don't quote me. I'm trying to research that. The other is clean the car. You could be charged a cleaning fee if you don't clean the car. And of course you take pictures, you upload those so it kind of has a timestamp. You kind of see what the car looks like when you're done with it. But make sure and clean it. I would also say don't smoke in the car. And if you're in a state, you can do weed, do things like that. Don't leave that in the car either because that smell could get in the car and that could cause a problem. So just kind of be real mindful of that. Keep the car clean. Keep your stuff with you. Those are the things I found out. If you are going to rent a car, we're just going to slide through and look. Hey, a Ford Fiesta, 2016, only $32 a day. Hey, look at that. You need a Ford Transit? Check that out, $38 a day. I've always actually wanted to drive and see what it'd be like to use that as a family car, so I wanted to see. Let's look here. Look at this. 2017 Ford Mustang, right? Only $74 per day. That's a GT, good looking car right there. It's been on 4 trips, and everything gets rated. The host gets rated as well as you, so you want to make sure you keep everything on tip top there for sure. If you are going to do something that's a manual, when you originally apply and put your information in, when I say apply, it's not like, so far it's been like putting my credit card information, putting my information in there, my profile information there. There's a selection if you drive a manual. So you have to say that you're an expert with a manual if you're renting a car with a manual. I would definitely read the fine print. If we pick a manual, there's some stuff about a clutch, and if a clutch were to go out where you were driving, are you responsible for it? So that's some stuff we'd have to check out for sure and see. Look at that, a Mazda Miata RF 2017. That one's $80 per day. Earlier I talked about the Mustang. So here's what you can do. There's this filter button down here at the bottom. So you can click on filters, and then you can change the price. As low as $10 a day. I'd like to see that car. Get the car delivered to you. There's some additional things you can do to get the car delivered to you. But down here, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can put the style in one. Like here's a make. So let's do make. Let's do Ford. Let's do model. Let's say Mustang. Okay, Mustang. And let's do search. Check this out. You've always wanted to drive a 1990 Ford Mustang 5.0 LX. Maybe that was your dream car. Maybe the guy down the street had one and you're always jealous of it. And you're like, what would that be like to drive it? You can drive it. Check it out. Very artistic photos. They did a good job with this. Or maybe you had one when you were younger and you're wanting a time machine, but you don't want to have to buy one and go through that. You just want to drive one on a weekend. Go back to feeling like when you were a kid driving your Mustang. Well, you can do that. This one's only $80 per day. Try calling a big rental car agency and say, I'd like to rent a 1990 Mustang. I'm sure they're like, yeah, we may have an employee that owns one of those, but you can't rent that, right? You're going to have a hard time pulling that one off. This one's a manual, so you want to make sure you mark on there that you drive a manual. So Turo's going to give you that option to do that. Now, turn the filters off. We can just go back, hit make and model, but all models. Ooh, Bentley. What do we got here in the world of Bentleys? No, nothing right now in Bentleys in Dallas. All right. So no one's doing that, but you know what? We will keep an eye out for it. So anyway, you can go through. There are so many different cars. I was looking in Keller, Texas. There were smart cars. There's an Audi 2007 Audi A4. Look at that, a Jaguar XK. It's a 2010. Good looking blue. That would be fun to drive for a day. What's it like? Let's see, 750. We can do 1,000 miles on that one included, and only 62 cents. So it changes, right? It all depends upon the host and what they do. So you could drive that one an extra 250 miles over that one we saw. There's a BMW M3. Check it out, a Porsche Boxster, a 2015 Porsche Boxster. This little bad boy's been on 151 trips. It's 5-star rating, right? So you kind of can see this one's actually out of Irving. Good looking car. That would be a fun car to drive. So Honda Entourage 2007, an FJ Cruiser, right? 1989 Mercedes-Benz 560 SL. Check that out, only $93 per day. That's pretty cool. So Turo gives us the opportunity to drive cars that we've always wanted to drive. So we're going to give that a shot. So here over the next couple of days, we're going to be posting some more videos. I'm going to give you some options as to cars that we'll choose from. You guys leave it in the comments which ones you want. If you use Turo, please put that in the comments. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on Instagram. I think we're at almost 3,000 subscribers now. Our followers now, that's really cool. And we're doing well on Facebook as well. We're slowly growing. So remember to like, comment, and share. Encourage your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's talk about cars tomorrow.